For product marketing, it all starts with knowing who you're targeting. So the first thing that I usually try to figure out when I start working with a company is, do they know who their ICP is, who their target audience is, how they defined it? Because sometimes companies say, yes, we know who our ICP is. It has to be companies in North America, which is not really a specific answer. We want it to be super specific. For product marketing, if you don't have a really tight definition of your ICP, it's really hard to do anything else. It's really hard to build, like the case around their pains and value points and messaging and positioning and all of these things. It's hard to do competitive intel. You can gather the information, but it's hard to process it and to gather some insights out of it. It really all starts with knowing what types of companies you are best suited for and that you want to attract from sales and to retention. So, a lot of companies have more than one use case and they want to still talk to all of them on the website with their sales team and all of that. And they don't want to pick one or two even. It's really hard to let go of that. But the thing is, I think, opportunistic sales are always going to be there, right? Like there's always going to be the people who are going to raise their hand and they're going to say, I want to buy from you, even if they're not in your ICP, which is great. Like, if someone comes to you and they want to buy,
sell it.
Yeah, sell it. It doesn't mean that they're not going to churn. It doesn't mean that you should spend a ton of, marketing dollars and efforts and time and sales time in trying to get them to sell initially. But if they come to you inbound,
push the pedal down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in a world where you really can afford to kind of,
you don't have a runway anymore.
No one has a runway. No one has huge budgets to do whatever they want. No one has all the time in the world. You just got to be super specific and really prioritize, who you're going to go after, because that's going to impact the way you go to market. To try to nail down your ICP, it's not just about, looking at your product and trying to decide, that's who we should go for. It's especially if you've been around and you have some history talking to customers, selling to customers. I feel like, a huge resource that you have that you can tap into is the knowledge that you have inside your organization, and it's the knowledge from people who work with customers. So all your customer-facing teams, if it's sales, if it's customer success, even customer support, because they can often tell really quickly from the first call with a prospect if they're going to be a good fit or no. And I think that sales enablement are often that bridge between marketing and sales, and they can really help. And they see a lot of things. They talk to sellers more than the average marketer does. Yeah. Even if the marketer really wants to talk to sales, that's fine. Sales enablement folks will have more face time with sales. They see more things. They are in it the day to day. And, sales rev as well, like rev ops, they'll have a ton of feedback. And again, in ICP work, you for sure want to kind of look back to the deals that you already sold, to kind of try to identify, which were the easiest because, the team was bought in, or the sales cycle was short, specific industry or pains or specific products or non-products capabilities that you have that were right on the spot of right on the money of what they needed. And again, sales enablement, because they're in the trenches. They know every marketing asset, if it's working or not working. They can really help with the feedback that they have from the field to let you know, yes, this is closer and this is, and this is not. Yeah. So first of all, I think you said a word that's really important. So collaboration is really important, because when you're starting these functions, again, these, maybe, when you have a bigger company and you have bigger teams, you can have really more like specialized talent. But I think at the beginning, when you're just starting something like that, you need to bring people that can work really well with other people. Hopefully people potentially that worked maybe even like in other departments, that they know how things, how information should move from one team to another. So it's just easier to collaborate, and you kind of like don't have to, like no toe stepping, and it's not like no politics from the beginning and like no internal, friction. So really people that understand how all of these functions work and how they can work together. They need to be a little bit generalists. You have like the T-shaped people, or even like an M-shaped, or I don't know, like what other, an upside down U. But yeah, so you definitely want people, if you bring the first product marketer, should know product marketing for sure, but they should also, be really well versed in other parts of the business, in sales enablement, in content, in brand a little bit, in demand. They should at least, not to necessarily go and start working on SEO and stuff like that, but they should know the implications of what they do well enough to, just make informed decisions, and even, grab people and like loop people in that can help them. So first of all, and that might sound contradicting, right? But like embrace the mentality of saying yes, but also don't be afraid to say no. You can't be, especially in these roles, if you're working on really cross-functional roles, you can't be a people pleaser. You can't please everyone. You just cannot. If that's something that's really important to you and you can't let it go, then it's going to be really hard to be successful, because it's impossible. And you'll always kind of have that thing, hovering above your head. So first of all, let that go. It's okay to say, no, we're not now, or, let's talk about it. Let's think about it. But also saying yes to different opportunities, right? Like you heard my background. I kind of have like a weird career path. Funny enough, my first job out of undergrad, I was a PMO at HP. I've had people from marketing telling me that all the time, you should join us in marketing. And I laughed. I thought that they were crazy. I didn't know what marketing was. I didn't know I couldn't explain you then the difference between sales and marketing. I definitely didn't know what product marketing was. But, opening yourself, talking to, talk to as many people as you can from different functions, just kind of like expand your horizons. Sometimes opportunities will come from them. And even if at first, like the first thought that like the first thing that crosses your mind is like, this is not a good idea, entertain it, just be kind of,
enjoy it.
Yeah, be a little bit more open-minded and continue to interact with people from different functions. I feel like as a product marketer, for me, I see a ton of value, of course, from talking to other product marketers, but I think for me, starting to consume and read and engage with people who are in different functions, like with sellers, with sales enablement, with customer success, really, really unlocked a lot of things for me in product marketing.
Your perspective on things that you do like without thinking.
Absolutely. And we talked about this before we recorded, but product marketing without sales, you can produce the best assets, but if you don't have the enablement piece in the puzzle, it's just not going to happen, right? You can work on the best sales deck ever, but that no one from sales is ever going to use. So all these things kind of have to work together. I think to be really successful in any cross-functional role, you have to talk to people from other functions.